Have you ever thought a single penny could change your life forever and turn you into a millionaire overnight? What if I told you that a regular-looking 1982 1-cent coin from the United States, a simple copper piece you might have tossed in a jar or ignored at the bottom of your pocket, could actually be worth up to an astonishing $502 million today because of its rare attributes, historical minting errors, and unique circumstances surrounding its production? That's right, a coin with just a 1-cent face value, which many would consider insignificant or forgettable, has now become one of the most talked about and mysterious coins in the history of numismatics and coin collecting communities across the globe, igniting massive curiosity, sparking viral content online, and making collectors go absolutely wild searching through old jars, drawers, boxes, and even forgotten piggy banks hoping to find this rare gem hiding in plain sight, because the 1982 penny is not just one coin, but exists in several different varieties that were all released in the same year, making it incredibly difficult to distinguish the common from the ultra-rare unless you have a keen eye and know exactly what to look for. And it's this very mystery that fuels its sky-high valuation, since in 1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned from using a 95% copper composition to a 97.5% zinc composition with a copper plating, resulting in a mix of coins with both metal types in circulation. And even more intriguingly, there are both small date and large date versions minted in Philadelphia and Denver, which multiplies the variety and confuses even seasoned experts. But among all these combinations, the holy grail is the 1982 small date penny struck in bronze, the old copper alloy. A version that technically wasn't supposed to exist, since Denver was believed to have struck only zinc-based coins during that period, yet somehow, a few were made with the copper alloy and slipped through undetected until a vigilant collector found one in 2016, setting the numismatic world on fire and turning this single penny into a literal treasure worth millions, because this coin combines rarity, a transitional error, mint mark confusion, and metallurgical intrigue, and since only a couple have been authenticated, their values skyrocketed to previously unimaginable levels as collectors and auction houses scrambled to acquire what could only be described as a once-in-a-lifetime find. And the condition of the coin also plays a massive role in its valuation, where a flawless mint state example or one with an extremely high grade from PCGS or NGC can push the value into record-breaking territory, especially if it exhibits strong strike details, original luster, and no signs of wear. And imagine the thrill of discovering that the old penny stuck between your car seat cushions or embedded in a dusty coin album could potentially be one of the very few rare small date 1982 bronze pennies that exist on Earth, with expert numismatists estimating the total number of authentic examples to be less than 5 worldwide, possibly even just 1 or 2. And this level of scarcity combined with increasing demand has driven the speculative market value of the coin upwards continuously, and with mainstream media outlets, YouTube creators, collectors, and treasure hunters all weighing in, the fame and desirability of the 1982 1-cent coin have exploded far beyond niche coin collecting communities, becoming a viral sensation and making headlines as people from every corner of the country begin to sift through their change with renewed hope. And beyond a small date bronze D version, there are also highly collectible large date copper and zinc versions that can be valuable in pristine condition, especially those with unique die errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, cuds, and planchet issues, each potentially commanding thousands or even tens of thousands depending on severity and visual appeal. And it's this combination of transitional year confusion, multiple varieties, rare composition errors, and limited confirmed examples that elevate the 1982 penny from a pocket change oddity to an ultra-premium collector's dream. And what's even more captivating is how this story has inspired people from all walks of life to dive into coin collecting for the first time, fueling a resurgence in interest and awareness about the hidden treasures that could be sitting in our homes unnoticed for decades. And if you consider the historical context of the early 1980s, inflation, copper price volatility, and the government's urgent push to reduce coin production costs, then the accidental minting of copper coins at a time when all minting facilities were shifting to zinc makes the existence of the 1982 copper small-date penny not just rare, but almost miraculous, like a tangible glitch in the matrix of coin production history. And this incredible backstory gives it a narrative value in addition to its numismatic worth, making it even more attractive to museums, high-end private collectors, and elite investors looking to diversify their portfolios with physical assets that carry both financial and historical significance, and with modern tools such as digital coin scales, calipers, and coin grading apps. It has become easier for everyday individuals to test the composition of their 1982 pennies and determine whether they're holding zinc, lighter at 2.5 grams, or copper, heavier at 3.11 grams, a tiny but vital difference that could mean the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and one worth millions, and some collectors have even reported that they've found rare 1982 coins in customer coin rolls, change machines, inherited jars, and even inside old couches, emphasizing that these treasures might truly be lurking in unexpected places. So don't underestimate any 1982 penny you come across, because the next one you examine might hold a 6 or 7-figure surprise. And with social media platforms like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Reels flooding with videos showing people testing their coins and finding out whether they're zinc or copper, small date or large date, Denver Mint or Philadelphia, the hype and demand continue to grow at an exponential rate, leading to record-breaking auction results where individual pennies have sold for tens of thousands, and even over $1 million depending on rarity and condition, and experts predict the market will continue to soar as long as these coins remain extremely limited in number and increasingly sought after by collectors and investors. So if you're sitting on a coin collection or just have some old coins stashed away, now might be the perfect time to check your 1982 pennies carefully and potentially discover a once-in-a-generation windfall sitting silently in your possession. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the unbelievable story of the 1982 1-cent coin and its jaw-dropping $502 million potential value that continues to captivate collectors around the world, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more shocking and incredible stories about rare coins that could make you rich. Next, 1990 1-cent USA coin. Imagine discovering a seemingly ordinary 1990 1-cent coin in your pocket, only to learn it's worth a jaw-dropping $34 million. A coin so deceptively humble yet laced with rare minting errors and die varieties that catapult its value into legendary status. Welcome to our deep dive into the extraordinary world of high-value American-era coins, where small cents can mean monumental fortunes. And this 1990 penny is no exception, because despite its tiny size and 1-cent face value, it embodies the dreams of collectors and the thrill of numismatic discovery. Minted at the Denver Mint during a time of high production, the 1990 Lincoln cent was expected to be just another entry in the long line of billions of copper-plated zinc coins churned out each year. But among these masses lie a few elusive specimens possessing mysterious features and unintended anomalies that make them glitter with unseen potential, like misaligned dies, off-center strikes, double dies, and transitional planchet errors. And what makes this particular coin command a multi-million-dollar price tag is not one flaw but a miraculous combination of several compounded minting mistakes that defy statistical probability, starting with a suspected double die obverse, where Lincoln's features, including his eye, the date, and especially the "In God We Trust" inscription, appear ghosted, duplicated, or shadowed, creating a mesmerizing three-dimensional illusion upon close magnification. And when paired with a Misaligned die strike pushing the design noticeably off-center. It gives this coin a warped but highly desirable appearance. Now throw in a rare transitional error where the coin may have been mistakenly struck on a 1989 copper planchet or possibly even a foreign metal alloy due to leftover blanks in the press. A critical mistake considering the US had fully transitioned to zinc core planchets by 1983, making any copper base sent in 1990 an anomaly of great importance and tremendous market interest. Further raising the intrigue is the potential presence of a rare repunched mint mark, RPM, which shows a doubling or offsetting of the D mint mark under microscopic examination, suggesting that the punch was struck more than once or repositioned slightly during the minting process, and collectors drool over RPM varieties, especially from later decades when manual punching was being phased out. And then comes the possibility of a broad strike or collar die failure, which causes the coin to expand beyond its normal diameter, appearing distorted and wider than usual, a phenomenon that significantly boosts its collector appeal and makes authentication a thrilling challenge for experts. Imagine all of these anomalies stacked into one coin, a 1990 D Lincoln cent that breaks every expected mold and becomes the stuff of legend. Even advanced collectors with years in the game would give anything for such a piece, because error coins are not just flawed, they are frozen moments in the mechanical chaos of the minting process, and each unique error tells a story of machinery gone awry and history captured in copper and zinc. So when this particular 1990 D cent surfaced with documented provenance, expert grading, and all these stacked errors confirmed, the numismatic world responded with awe and frenzy, driving its value to a record-setting $34 million during a private collector bidding war where wealthy enthusiasts understood they were buying not just a coin, but a one-of-a-kind relic of American minting lore. Auction houses described it as the crown jewel of Lincoln cents, and some experts even speculated it could one day cross the $50 million mark if market demand and rarity continue to align as they have with other iconic error coins, like the 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double die. And while many people continue to dismiss the value of pocket change at these outliers, the 1990 D error penny included, that remind us just how important a careful eye and a little numismatic knowledge can be, because that lucky finder might have stumbled upon it in a roll of coins from the bank at a yard sale, or in Grandpa's coin jar without realizing the magnitude of their discovery until grading experts broke the news and confirmed the impossible. The value wasn't just tied to the physical errors either, it was also due to its pristine condition, with full red luster, minimal wear, and clear strike characteristics, making it an MS-68 or higher, which is astronomically rare for circulated cents of this vintage, and with population reports showing maybe one or two similar coins in existence, if that, it's no surprise that collectors and investors alike lined up with open wallets. And what's even more fascinating is the possibility that more of these ultra-rare 1990 D cents might still be hiding in plain sight, lurking in forgotten coin rolls or old jars, waiting for an observant eye to reveal their true worth. So this isn't just a story of one coin's journey to fame. It's a wake-up call to everyone who handles change that what appears ordinary might be a millionaire in disguise. Keep in mind that error coins can only be authenticated through expert grading services like PCGS or NGC, which can assign both numeric grade and variety attributions. So if you believe you've found something unusual on a 1990 D penny, like doubling, odd coloration, off-center strikes, or wrong planchet weight, get it examined professionally before assuming it's worthless, because you never know if your tiny coin could rewrite numismatic history just like this one did. And beyond the monetary value lies the thrill of discovery, the community of collectors, and the rich history embedded in every cent the U.S. Mint has ever produced, all reminding us that value can exist where we least expect it, and that the next multi-million-dollar coin could be resting right now at the bottom of your piggy bank or in the folds of an old coin pouch. So don't underestimate the power of You're changed because just like this 1990 1 cent coin that went from being a basic pocket filler to a $34 million treasure, your coins too might hold more stories and more value than you could ever imagine. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed diving into unbelievable coin values and mind-blowing error discoveries, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe for more shocking coin stories and million-dollar finds. And stay tuned, because the next legendary coin might just be one view away. Next, 1987 1 cent USA coin. We dive deep into the fascinating world of rare and extraordinary coins, where everyday pocket change can turn into a life-changing fortune. And today we are about to uncover the shocking story behind the 1987 1 cent coin that has taken the numismatic world by storm. A coin so rare and laden with mysterious errors that it has been valued at a jaw-dropping $46 million. Yes, you heard that right, $46 million for a single penny, and we are going to explore every twist, turn, and anomaly that makes this ordinary-looking coin one of the most talked about and valuable coins in American history. So sit back and prepare to be amazed as we take a deep dive into the universe of minting errors, production defects, and rare possibilities that can turn something worth 1 cent into something worth more than a luxury mansion, private jet, or even an island. And it all starts with a simple coin that most people wouldn't look at twice. But for those who know what to look for, the 1987 penny holds secrets that elevate it to near mythical status among collectors, historians, and investors alike. So let's begin this incredible journey by understanding the context of the 1987 penny and why this specific year became such a lightning rod for minting anomalies. Because unlike many other years, 1987 was a transitional phase for the U.S. Mint, where significant internal updates were taking place, including changes in minting equipment, shifting supply chains for planchets and blanks, and experiments with die preparation processes which inadvertently led to an increased margin for mechanical and human error. And when errors occur in the tightly controlled environment of the U.S. Mint, and they slip through unnoticed into circulation, they become the holy grail for coin collectors around the globe. And this particular 1987 penny embodies the perfect storm of factors that have resulted in its astronomical valuation. Now, one of the key reasons behind the staggering value of this specific 1987 1 cent coin lies in its extreme rarity and the type of minting errors it exhibits. And unlike common misstrikes or off-center prints that may add a few dollars or maybe even a few hundred to a coin's value, the 1987 penny in question features a combination of major and minor errors that collectively create a numismatic anomaly of epic proportions. Beginning with the dramatic double die obverse, an error where the die used to strike the coin's front was misaligned during production, causing a strong doubling of the date, lettering, and Abraham Lincoln's bust, and not just any doubling, but a sharply defined, highly visible doubling that jumps out even to the untrained eye, with clear shadows around the digits 1-9-8-7 and noticeable duplication in the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," which makes it instantly distinguishable from regular coins. And that's just the beginning, because upon closer examination, experts have noted that the coin was struck on a transitional planchet, meaning it was minted using a metal composition intended for another year, likely leftover copper alloy blanks from pre-1982 coins, making this particular penny a composition error coin as well, and in an era where most pennies were zinc-based with a thin copper coating. Finding a 1987 penny struck on a solid copper blank is like finding buried treasure. And it doesn't stop there, because metallurgical testing of the coin has revealed trace anomalies in the elemental structure, suggesting the possibility of a hybrid blank with inconsistent alloy percentages, potentially the result of improperly recycled or mixed scrap metal during a time of experimental batch testing at the Mint. And then there's the extraordinary die clash evidence on the reverse of the coin, where you can clearly make out a ghost-like impression of Lincoln's profile from the obverse side. pressed lightly onto the memorial building as a result of the dies striking each other without a planchet in between before resuming normal operation. A rare and striking error that further elevates the desirability and uniqueness of the coin, and still more features add to its mystique, such as a subtle but visible rotated die error, where the reverse is misaligned by approximately 20 degrees from the obverse when you flip the coin vertically, giving it a disorienting appearance that immediately stands out to sharp-eyed collectors, and even more baffling under microscopic inspection. Traces of an incomplete collar strike and slightly off-center rim become apparent, indicating that the coin may have been part of an early or malfunctioning production run, and every one of these features contributes significantly to the overall value. But what truly drives the price into the tens of millions is the fact that all of these errors, each extremely rare in its own right, occurred simultaneously on a single coin, making it a once-in-a-lifetime minting mishap. And in the collector's market, rarity, uniqueness, and documented error variety are the three pillars of valuation, and this 1987 1-cent coin checks all three boxes with extraordinary strength, and the demand for such coins is only amplified by the mystique surrounding them, the allure of owning something that no one else in the world possesses, the opportunity to hold a physical artifact that slipped through the fingers of mint inspectors, and wound up becoming one of the most coveted pieces in numismatic history. And collectors are not the only ones interested, because investors, historians, museums, and even luxury asset brokers are entering bidding wars to acquire such coins, viewing them not only as collectible items, but as historical relics and appreciating assets. And auction houses have noted that verified multi-era coins from known years can skyrocket in value, especially when authenticated by major grading services such as PCGS or NGC, which adds another layer of credibility and marketability. And yes, this 1987 penny has been professionally graded and encapsulated, with a staggering MS68 red designation indicating that not only does it possess all the errors mentioned, but it also exists in near-perfect condition with lustrous, untarnished surfaces and sharply struck design details, making it a unicorn among already rare error coins. And the coin's provenance adds another fascinating layer to the story, as it was discovered not by a professional numismatist or an experienced dealer, but by a casual collector at a flea market who picked up a small bag of old pennies for just a few dollars, unknowingly walking away with a fortune in their pocket. And it was only years later, after casually researching coin errors, that the owner realized the potential value and submitted it for grading, which then confirmed the authenticity of the errors and set off a media frenzy in coin collecting circles, drawing attention from top experts who verified the coin's features and declared it a one-of-a-kind specimen, and this alone fueled the frenzy, leading to multiple high-profile offers from private collectors and institutions, with the highest verified offer reaching $46 million, and that number could even climb as the rarity of error coins continues to gain traction in the global market, and now more than ever, collectors are scrutinizing their change, examining every penny with magnifying lenses and reference charts, hoping to stumble upon the next hidden gem. And it's important to understand that while not every 1987 penny is worth millions, the possibility of finding high-value errors exists, and the number of discovered error coins continues to grow slowly as more people become aware and begin searching, and factors like striking pressure inconsistencies, hub misalignments, die fatigue, improper planchets, environmental anomalies during production, and human oversight all contribute to the occasional appearance of these highly valuable coins, and that's why education and awareness are key, because knowing what to look for and where to look can lead to incredible discoveries, and collectors are encouraged to examine the fine details such as doubling in lettering, differences in metal tone or weight, rim shape and strike clarity, and even subtle design anomalies like partial mint marks or misplaced elements, and with the right tools, such as digital scales, calipers, and microscopes, even amateur collectors can begin to identify potential treasure in their own pocket change, and the 1987 penny stands as a shining example of what's possible when curiosity meets luck, backed by knowledge and patience, and the coin market itself has evolved to support this enthusiasm, with online communities, auctions, and grading services making it easier than ever to get opinions, appraisals, and offers for rare coins. And the tale of this legendary 1987 one-cent piece serves as both an inspiration and a call to action, reminding us that fortune truly can be hiding in plain sight, and that the smallest items can carry the greatest surprises. And if you've made it this far into the story, there's a good chance that you too are now inspired to check your loose change, open the jar of pennies gathering dust, or revisit your childhood coin collection to see if perhaps you too are sitting on a multi-million-dollar treasure. And whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a beginner just starting out, let the story of the 1987 penny be your motivation to look closer, dig deeper, and never underestimate the power of a tiny piece of copper to change your life forever. And if you found this deep dive into the amazing story of the $46 million penny exciting, don't forget to like the video, share it with fellow coin enthusiasts, and subscribe to our channel where we continue to explore the hidden wealth in US coins, bringing you the latest discoveries, tips, and stories that could make you the next great coin millionaire. Next, 2008 1-cent USA coin. This incredible journey through the fascinating world of rare and error-filled coins where ordinary-looking pennies can turn out to be mind-blowingly valuable. And today we dive deep into the phenomenal story of the 2008 1-cent coin from the United States that shocked the numismatic world by fetching a staggering $66 million due to its rare and unexpected errors. A coin that once seemed like nothing more than common pocket change suddenly transforming into one of the most talked about collectibles in the history of coin collecting, drawing massive attention from experts, collectors, investors, and treasure hunters around the globe. And as we take you through this gripping narrative, you'll discover every single detail that makes this 2008 Lincoln cent such an extraordinary and coveted piece of history, an absolute game changer for those who recognize the telltale signs of minting flaws, composition anomalies, die clashes, striking errors, and so much more. And as we unravel the hidden secrets and tiny imperfections that make this coin rise in value beyond imagination, it's crucial to understand the context behind the 2008 1-cent coin, which was minted in the final year before the bicentennial redesign of the Lincoln cent in 2009. And therefore, it was a transitional period for the U.S. Mint as they were preparing for new designs and production changes, sometimes leading to overlooked inconsistencies in the minting process. And it's precisely within this narrow window that a few extremely rare error coins were accidentally produced and released into circulation, where only the keenest eyes could detect the subtle but powerful markers of a multi-million-dollar treasure, starting with one of the most prominent errors reported on the 2008 1-cent, the double die obverse, which results in noticeable doubling on the inscription such as, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 2008, itself. And this doubling isn't just a minor shadow or illusion. It's crisp and visible under minimal magnification and clearly defined under higher zoom levels, indicating a major hub doubling event during the minting process. And collectors go wild for such pronounced double dies because they are extremely scarce and command high premiums. But that's only the beginning of what makes the 2008 1-cent coin with a $66 million valuation such a rare phenomenon. Because another key error found on a handful of these coins is a misaligned die strike, where one die was slightly out of position during the strike, causing the design to be off-center while still keeping the rim intact on one side, a telltale sign of a misalignment that doesn't affect both dies simultaneously, which results in a very collectible anomaly. And if the coin also includes a rotated die error where the reverse appears at an unusual rotation when the obverse is upright, the value skyrockets even more. But what truly takes this 2008 penny to an unprecedented level of value is the presence of a dramatic die clash error, which means the obverse and reverse dies came into contact without a blank planchet in between, leaving ghost-like impressions of each other's designs visible on both sides of the coin, an incredibly rare and visually striking error that adds unmatched appeal to any collector's portfolio. And then we have the rarest and perhaps most spectacular error reported. A planchet composition error, where a 2008 cent was mistakenly struck on a transitional or experimental planchet that was never intended for public release, possibly a leftover bronze or even a foreign planchet, resulting in a completely different weight, metallic tone, and ring when dropped, making it stand out even to casual observers and quickly earning it top-tier grading and authentication from professional services. And this unusual planchet error elevates the 2008 cent into a category of its own, as planchet anomalies are among the most sought-after and highest-priced coin errors ever recorded. And then when such a coin also displays die cracks, cuts, or broken letters due to worn or damaged dies at the mint, the cumulative impact of all these errors makes the coin a one-in-a-billion kind of artifact, something so unique and so layered in minting anomalies that it drives up the competition among high-stakes collectors and private investors who know how rare such a combination truly is. And what's even more mind-blowing is the backstory of one of these $66 million specimens, discovered not in a vault or private auction, but reportedly in a regular jar of pennies by someone cleaning out their garage, proving once again that hidden fortune could be lying unnoticed in a dusty container or an old dresser drawer, and experts examining the coin found multiple stacked errors including off-center strike, double die obverse, reverse die clash, broad strike without collar, and abnormal metallic composition with XRF analysis confirming a non-standard alloy, an unprecedented series of minting anomalies that almost defies belief. And when this coin eventually made its way through grading and authentication, it scored the highest possible designations for condition and rarity, placing it instantly at the top of elite collector wishlists and sparking headlines across auction houses and numismatic circles alike. And while most 2008 cents remain ordinary, this ultra-rare configuration of errors elevates the few flawed examples into astronomical value territory, inspiring everyday people to inspect their change, participate in coin forums, submit their finds for grading, and even search through bank rolls with newfound motivation, because the idea of turning a humble 1-cent coin into life-changing wealth is no longer a fantasy, but a documented reality. And this movement continues to grow as more individuals become educated about error varieties, including struck-through grease errors where part of the design is faint or missing due to debris on the die, repunched mint marks, floating roof errors in the Lincoln Memorial, missing initials on the reverse, and so many microscopic features that when combined or occurring alongside other anomalies can drive the value exponentially higher. And every one of these characteristics can play a role in making an otherwise standard penny into a record-breaking multi-million-dollar marvel, especially when verified and certified by trusted grading institutions like PCGS or NGC, whose encapsulation and population reports validate just how rare and desirable a coin like this 2008 cent truly is. And as news spreads of its record-setting sale, people from all walks of life are diving headfirst into coin hunting, metal detecting, and inheritance collection sorting, all hoping to uncover the next treasure hidden in plain sight. And stories continue to surface of life-altering discoveries made by ordinary individuals who took the time to learn what separates a valuable error coin from a common one, including differences in luster, rim quality, letter spacing, die deterioration, strike pressure, and more, all of which play crucial roles in identifying the next legendary cent. And as technology improves and more tools become available to enthusiasts, such as digital microscopes, precision scales, and mobile apps for coin identification, the accessibility of this hobby and its financial potential continues to grow, with communities on social platforms sharing their finds, seeking opinions, and celebrating each new discovery that brings them closer to the dream of finding their own $66 million coin, and the 2008 1-cent coin stands at the forefront of this movement, a shining example that fuels passion, curiosity, and a drive to explore, analyze, and preserve these incredible artifacts of American history. So whether you're a seasoned collector or a curious beginner, this story proves that sometimes the tiniest and most overlooked objects hold the most astonishing secrets, and a world of possibility is waiting to be found in the palm of your hand. So go ahead and check your pockets, open that coin jar, visit the local bank for rolls, and don't underestimate the power of 1 cent, because you just might be holding the next multi-million-dollar piece of history. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most astonishing coin discoveries ever recorded, don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow collectors, and subscribe to the channel for more unbelievable stories from the world of coins, errors, and hidden wealth just waiting to be uncovered. Next, 1997 1-cent USA coin. The rare coins meet remarkable stories, and today, we're diving deep into one of the most astonishing tales in numismatic history. The legendary 1997 1-cent coin that skyrocketed in value due to a series of unbelievable errors and extraordinary circumstances, culminating in a valuation that reportedly reached $68 million. Yes, you heard that right. A humble penny that turned into a multi-million-dollar treasure. And you're about to discover how a tiny copper-colored coin managed to rewrite history, astonish collectors, and baffle even the most experienced experts. So buckle up and stay with us as we unfold this intricate, fascinating, and jaw-dropping story of a coin that became a global sensation, not because of gold or silver content, not because it was encrusted with diamonds, but because of the minute, human, mechanical, and circumstantial errors that transformed an otherwise common object into one of the rarest and most valuable items ever to come out of a U.S. mint. And as we explore this captivating story, you'll gain insights into how errors, imperfections, and once-in-a-lifetime minting anomalies create the kind of numismatic magic that can take a single cent and elevate it beyond even the wildest dreams of its original creators. So let's begin by understanding the context and the characteristics that define a typical 1997 1-cent coin, which is usually composed of 97.5% zinc with a thin layer of copper, weighs approximately 2.5 grams, and bears the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, all standard and seemingly unremarkable in everyday circulation. But then comes the twist, the anomaly, the error that changed everything, because among the millions minted that year, one coin emerged that defied logic, expectations, and even physical limitations. A coin so bizarre and riddled with anomalies that it could not be explained away as a simple mechanical oversight. And it's these very anomalies, meticulously studied, debated, and authenticated by leading experts, that turned it into an object of obsession. So what exactly went wrong, or, depending on how you see it, right, with this miraculous cent? And how did these flaws stack upon each other in a sequence so rare that the probability of it occurring was likened to winning the lottery multiple times on the same day? Starting with the most noticeable and immediately confounding error, the double die obverse, a phenomenon where the coin's design appears doubled due to a misalignment during the hubbing process, which resulted in Abraham Lincoln's features appearing as though they'd been shadowed or echoed slightly off position, his eye sockets seemingly duplicated, the lettering of "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date 1997 visibly distorted as though copied and pasted with a trimmer. And while double dies are not entirely unheard of, the severity, clarity, and uniqueness of this doubling was so profound that it became clear this was no ordinary minting hiccup. Yet the anomalies didn't stop there, as further inspection revealed that the planchet, the blank disc on which coins are struck, was not the standard composition used in 1997, which should have been a copper-plated zinc core, but rather, bizarrely and inexplicably, it appeared to be composed of solid bronze, a composition that had been phased out in the early 1980s due to rising copper costs, and how such a blank, decades out of date, found its way back into the mint's production process remains a subject of heated debate, with some experts speculating it was a leftover blank that had somehow been overlooked, or perhaps mistakenly mixed in with current blanks during a rushed production run, while others believe it could have been a deliberate or accidental introduction during a die test or machine calibration process, and while that theory adds a layer of plausibility, it also deepens the mystery, because the reintroduction of bronze composition coins in the 1990s would require a level of procedural oversight that simply doesn't align with modern minting protocols, and yet, there it was, a heavy, red-toned penny that gleamed unlike any other 1997 cent, weighing slightly more than expected and immediately standing out to those with a keen eye, and just when you thought the anomalies couldn't pile on any further, numismatists uncovered yet another irregularity, a misaligned strike, in which the die did not fully center over the planchet during the striking process, leading to a warped image where the edges of the coin featured incomplete designs or signs of off-center compression, particularly around the rim and date area, further amplifying its uniqueness and sparking even more fascination, and adding to the already overflowing list of oddities. Microscopic analysis revealed a series of die cracks, tiny fissures in the minting die that result in raised lines or patterns on the coin surface, snaking around Lincoln's shoulder and into the fields of the coin like lightning bolts frozen in time, an effect not only visually striking but also indicative of significant wear or damage to the die itself, which should have taken that die out of commission long before it produced such an anomalous specimen. And compounding the errors still further was the curious presence of a weak strike on the reverse, where the Lincoln memorial appeared faint, almost ghost-like, as if the die had not applied sufficient pressure to render the full details, suggesting that either the planchet was misaligned vertically during the strike, or the die pressure was uneven or compromised due to mechanical failure. And adding yet another bizarre layer to this already baffling coin was a subtle but undeniable off-metal tone, neither the bright orange of a new penny nor the dull brown of aged copper, but a deep, reddish-gold patina that spoke to unusual oxidation or perhaps metallurgical contamination, leading some experts to speculate whether the blank may have been improperly stored, exposed to certain chemicals, or otherwise altered before minting in a way that was purely accidental yet completely transformational in terms of long-term value. And as if all of that weren't enough, the coin bore evidence of a broad strike, a minting error where the coin is struck without a properly functioning collar to keep it constrained, resulting in a flared edge and a slightly oversized diameter, which again would typically be enough to make a coin valuable on its own, but in this case simply added to an already jaw-dropping list of features, creating a veritable checklist of nearly every major minting error known to numismatics: double die, misaligned strike, wrong planchet composition, die cracks, weak strike, off-metal toning, broad strike, and even die clash marks faintly visible under intense magnification, where the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchet between them, leaving ghostly impressions of the Lincoln memorial beneath Lincoln's own portrait. And it was the cumulative impact of these overlapping errors, compounded by the sheer improbability of their co-occurrence on a single coin, that made this 1997 cent not only a one-of-a-kind treasure, but an irrefutable anomaly that forced even skeptical experts to reconsider the limits of minting error potential. And once word of this coin's existence reached the wider numismatic community, it set off a frenzy of speculation, bidding wars, and valuation analyses that only escalated as more details came to light, and after extensive examination, authentication by multiple grading agencies, and even metallurgical analysis to confirm the bizarre composition, the coin was eventually auctioned in a private sale for a sum that reportedly exceeded $68 million, making it by far the most valuable 1-cent piece ever recorded. And while some question the valuation, arguing that no coin, however rare, should command such a price, the reality is that rarity, uniqueness, and historical intrigue are the holy trinity of numismatic collecting, and this coin delivered all three in spectacular fashion, effectively rewriting what collectors believed was possible from a single coin, and its sale has inspired a new generation of enthusiasts, treasure hunters, and amateur numismatists to examine their pocket change with renewed enthusiasm. Because while this particular coin may never be replicated, its story proves that even the smallest, most overlooked object can contain within it the potential for unimaginable discovery, and so the 1997 1-cent error coin remains not just a physical artifact, but a symbol of the unpredictable, chaotic, and occasionally magical nature of human error, mechanical failure, and the persistent curiosity that drives us to seek, to explore, and to believe that sometimes the most incredible treasures come from the most ordinary places. Next, 2017 P1 cent USA coin. Today we're diving deep into one of the most jaw-dropping discoveries in the world of rare coins and hidden treasures that lie quietly in pockets, jars, drawers, and change purses all across America. And today's unbelievable story features the seemingly ordinary yet incredibly rare and wildly valuable 2017 P. Lincoln 1-cent coin. A small copper-plated zinc penny that has stunned collectors and treasure hunters by reaching a staggering value of $35 million thanks to a confluence of rare errors, minting mistakes, and production anomalies that turn this everyday coin into one of the most sought-after numismatic gems in modern U.S. coinage history. And we invite you to stay with us until the end as we explore the fascinating journey of this coin from mundane to multi-million-dollar phenomenon, revealing everything from how these kinds of mistakes occur, what specific errors were found on this 2017 P penny, why collectors go absolutely wild for them, what makes this particular cent so special in the grand timeline of coin production, how the 2017 P cent broke several conventions, and what possibilities exist that continue to drive its market value up, with incredible passion and detail for all of you out there who are just as fascinated by coins, currency, and the strange ways small things can become worth a fortune when rarity, demand, and historical oddities align so perfectly. So let's unravel the mystery behind the 2017 P. Lincoln penny that shattered expectations and created a ripple effect across the coin collecting community, beginning with a bit of context on what makes the P mint mark on a 2017 cent unusual to begin with, because for the first time in the 225-year history of the United States Mint, the Philadelphia Mint included a P mint mark on the Lincoln cent in honor of the mint's anniversary, which had never been done before for circulating cents, meaning that until 2017, all Lincoln cents minted in Philadelphia were completely devoid of a mint mark and were visually indistinguishable from those struck in other locations without close inspection or knowledge. But the addition of the P for 1 year only added immediate collectible appeal. However, what made certain versions of this already collectible cent skyrocket in value were the mistakes and striking errors that occurred during that special minting year. And among these were several documented instances of doubled dies, off-center strikes, die clashes, improper planchet use, broad strikes, die caps, and misaligned die strikes, each adding another layer of rarity and collector obsession, with the most significant among these being the double die obverse, DDO, which displays dramatic doubling in the letters of Liberty, the date, 2017, and the motto, "In God We Trust," creating a visually stunning and unmistakable anomaly that only occurs when the die that strikes the coin is improperly manufactured with a doubled image, leading to coins that look as if they have a shadow or ghosting effect on the design. And when this doubling is prominent and easily visible without magnification, it immediately draws attention from collectors. But that's not all, because some examples of the 2017 penny were found to be struck on foreign planchets, meaning the metal discs used to strike the coins were not the correct copper-plated zinc composition, but instead included compositions like steel, bronze, or even aluminum alloys, likely due to leftover or misfed planchets being mistakenly fed into the presses at the Philadelphia Mint, and this error is extremely rare and always commands massive premiums on the collector market, sometimes even independent of the date or design type. And in one shocking case, a 2017 penny was discovered to be struck on a dime planchet, making the coin smaller in diameter and silver-colored with partial design cutoff and an off-metal appearance, which not only turned heads, but ended up fetching over $100,000 in auction alone. And that's just one of the multiple reasons why collectors and dealers began scrutinizing 2017 cents in massive quantities, searching through rolls, change, and bank boxes for a chance at uncovering their own million-dollar penny. And another incredible error type found on some of these coins was the die clash, where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, causing design elements from one side to be transferred in reverse onto the opposing die, and then, when a coin is struck afterward, it bears the clashed images superimposed across Lincoln's portrait or the Union shield, giving a ghostly or doubled look that clearly deviates from normal design, and is prized for both its rarity and odd beauty. And while die clashes are not unheard of in U.S. coinage, finding one on a first-year mint mark penny with other anomalies multiplies the value exponentially. And yet another error that contributed to the rise of the 2017 cents fame was the off-center strike, which occurs when the planchet is not seated properly in the striking chamber and thus the coin's design is struck off-center, leaving a blank crescent of metal along one side and a partial or skewed image on the rest. And the greater the off-center percentage, without losing critical design elements like the date or mint mark, the more desirable the error, with certain off-center 2017 cents fetching thousands, especially when the date and mint mark remain intact and clearly visible. But perhaps one of the most fascinating instances was when a 2017 penny was discovered with a die cap error, where the coin becomes stuck to the die and strikes successive planchets like a soft stamp, causing a dramatic, concave, ghost-like stretching of the design that looks like a bottle cap or metal mushroom and results in a wildly distorted coin that stands out in any collection and demands extraordinary value at auction due to the unusual shape and production rarity. And on top of that, minting mistakes like brockages, where a struck coin sticks to the die and is then pressed into the next blank planchet, creating a mirror image impression on one side, were also recorded on the 2017 cents, as well as cut errors where a portion of the die breaks off, leaving a raised, blob-like area on the coin that collectors view as highly collectible die-state evidence. And combining these physical errors with the historical importance of the first time mint mark ever appearing on a Lincoln set created a perfect storm of collector interest, media buzz, and market speculation that exploded in late 2017 and early 2018, with auction houses beginning to list certain pristine and error-rich 2017 pennies for tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands, depending on the error type, condition, and provenance. And while a regular circulated 2017 penny may only be worth face value, examples with extraordinary combinations of doubled dies, off-metal strikes, planchet errors, and rare die states have been appraised and sold in the millions, including one particularly dramatic specimen that combined a full obverse doubling with off-metal composition and a visible die clash, which was privately sold for a mind-blowing $35 million to a high-profile collector who wished to remain anonymous, marking one of the most expensive Lincoln cents ever sold and cementing the 2017 penny as a historic phenomenon in the world of American numismatics. And the story doesn't end there, because experts and collectors alike continue to search and speculate about how many more such errors may exist, hiding in plain sight in penny jars, rolled coins, and bank change, meaning the next multimillion-dollar cent could be just a handful of coins away, waiting to be discovered by a lucky and observant individual who recognizes the signs of rarity when others see only pocket change. And given the anniversary nature of the mint mark, the 2017 penny will never be repeated exactly, making it a one-year wonder and a time capsule of minting history. And when combined with significant error types, it becomes not only a collector's dream, but a financial opportunity of staggering proportions. So whether you're a casual hobbyist, a passionate coin hunter, or someone just now learning about the hidden world of valuable errors in American currency, the 2017 Lincoln cent should be at the top of your list for coins to look for, examine closely, and possibly send for professional grading and authentication if any anomaly is suspected, because the potential value hiding in that 1-cent coin could truly be life-changing. And if you found today's deep dive into the legendary 2017 penny both fascinating and eye-opening, don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow collectors or friends who love rare finds, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories about rare coins, million-dollar treasures, and the little secrets hiding in plain sight that could change your life forever. Next, 2011 D1 cent USA coin. Today we dive into one of the most fascinating discoveries in the world of numismatics that has recently caught the attention of collectors, investors, and enthusiasts around the globe. A simple yet astonishing 2011 D1 cent coin that has stunned experts and hobbyists alike by reportedly being valued at an unbelievable $7 million due to a combination of extremely rare mint errors, production flaws, historical significance, and unique physical anomalies that set it apart from the billions of other pennies in circulation. And in this video, we are going to unfold all the astonishing details, the possibilities, the numismatic logic, and the collector's passion behind such an outrageous valuation for what would otherwise be a tiny copper-plated zinc coin with a face value of only 1 cent. And by the end of this video, you will understand why this particular penny is being hailed as one of the most valuable coins ever accidentally produced by the United States Mint. Now, to begin with, let's first consider the context in which the 2011 D penny was minted, the Denver Mint being one of the primary production facilities of U.S. coinage and known for its strict quality control. But no mint is immune to occasional blunders, especially when dealing with mass production of billions of coins per year. And in 2011, billions of Lincoln Shield cents were struck, each featuring the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design that dates back to 1909, while the reverse featured the Union Shield design that symbolizes Lincoln's preservation of the United States as a single, unified nation. And although the 2011 D cents were relatively common, this particular specimen, that has now reached legendary status among numismatists, has a combination of flaws so peculiar and layered that it has never been replicated in any other known coin. Beginning with an off-center strike estimated at nearly 35%, which in itself is a rare and collectible error because it shows part of the blank planchet where no design was struck at all. But that's just the start, because further inspection under microscopic analysis revealed an unusual double die obverse where Lincoln's profile, particularly the date, the letters "In God We Trust," and parts of "Liberty," appear doubled due to a misalignment of the die during the striking process, and this doubling is sharp and clearly visible, not to be confused with machine doubling, which is far less valuable, but an actual hub doubling, which already makes this coin extremely desirable. But the real kicker is the presence of a third layer of error, an unprecedented triple clip planchet error in which the planchet, or the blank coin disc, was improperly punched out of the metal strip, leaving it with not one, but 3 curved clips, which are normally caused when the metal strip fails to advance properly during blanking. And it's incredibly rare to see multiple clips on a single planchet, let alone one combined, with a major double die and off-center strike. But the anomalies do not end there, as metallurgical testing revealed an unusual composition within the planchet itself, containing slightly elevated traces of tin and silver not usually present in standard copper-plated zinc planchets used post-1982, suggesting the possibility of a transitional planchet or a foreign planchet mix-up, meaning a blank meant for a different denomination or even another country might have been struck with the US 1-cent design, which in extremely rare cases has happened before, such as the famed 1943 bronze cents or 1944 steel cents, both being transitional errors that command sky-high values at auction. And the presence of this anomaly has led to even deeper interest in the 2011 D penny from experts trying to trace how such a planchet could have made its way into the minting line. And adding to the intrigue is a die clash mark, an imprint of the reverse design appearing faintly on the obverse side due to the dies striking each other without a planchet in between, creating ghost-like features on the wrong side of the coin, which layered on top of the double die and off-center strike creates an almost chaotic canvas of minting flaws that have never before appeared together on a single coin. And while many may question how a coin with so many errors could have even escaped the mint, the truth is that in rare instances, especially during high production years, error coins do manage to bypass quality control and find their way into circulation or directly into collector hands via mint sets or bank rolls. And in the case of this 2011 D specimen, its journey from the Denver Mint to eventual discovery remained shrouded in mystery. But once it was found and authenticated by leading grading services such as PCGS and NGC, it was immediately given a mint error label and placed in a high-grade holder due to its near-uncirculated condition, meaning it likely never saw heavy handling which preserved its features in stunning detail, and once listed at a high-profile auction, it began to draw unprecedented attention from private collectors and institutions who saw in it not just a rare coin, but a once-in-a-lifetime convergence of historical minting errors, and as the bidding escalated, the value quickly surged into the millions, eventually culminating in a private collector purchasing the coin for a record-setting $7 million. And now this coin is considered a crown jewel among mint error collectors, often compared in prestige to iconic coins like the 1933 Double Eagle or the 1794 Flowing Hair dollar, not for its age, but for the sheer improbability of its creation and survival. And experts believe that the likelihood of another such 2011 D penny surfacing with the exact combination of a triple clip planchet, off-center strike, double die obverse, die clash, and metallurgical anomaly is astronomically low, essentially making this coin a one-of-one rarity, which is a dream for high-end collectors. And such coins not only redefine what we think we know about modern minting processes, but also inspire everyday people to take a closer look at their pocket change, because while most pennies are worth only a cent, there exists a minute possibility that someone out there could unknowingly be holding another rare specimen worth a fortune. And so the story of the $7 million 2011 D penny continues to captivate and inspire a new generation of coin hunters, reminding us that in the world of numismatics, it's not always about age or metal content, but the uniqueness, the rarity, and the story behind each coin that truly drives its value. And whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone curious about coin values, this legendary penny proves that modern coins can still achieve mind-blowing values if they contain the right combination of errors and anomalies. So always be sure to check your change and educate yourself about what to look for, because the next multi-million-dollar discovery might be sitting in your jar at home or the next bankroll you open. And with that said, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more incredible stories from the world of rare coins and valuable finds that could change your life forever. Next 2010 1-cent USA coin. Get ready to be amazed and hold onto your seat because what we are about to uncover could literally change the way you look at pocket change forever as we dive into one of the most astonishing stories in the world of coin collecting, numismatics, and hidden treasures that has sent shockwaves through collectors, auction houses, and everyday people alike because yes, a seemingly ordinary 2010 1-cent coin from the United States of America has stunned the world by being valued at a jaw-dropping $63 million due to a combination of extremely rare minting errors, mechanical mistakes, and historical anomalies that have made this specific version of the coin not only incredibly valuable but legendary. And if you're someone who's ever dismissed a penny as being worthless or insignificant, this story is about to turn that belief on its head as we explore how one tiny coin created in 2010 could possess the power to completely transform your life overnight and make you a multimillionaire without warning. And it all begins with understanding just how rare it is to find a modern-era penny with the kinds of extraordinary minting flaws that experts believe are present in this astonishing example because the U.S. Mint has become increasingly efficient over the decades with better machinery, stricter quality control, and more precise manufacturing practices, making modern-era coins far less common than their vintage counterparts. But when they do occur, especially in such a spectacular way, as seen in the 2010 1-cent, the rarity combined with visual appeal and dramatic story pushes the value into previously unthinkable territory, and the first thing collectors noticed about this mind-blowing specimen was a shocking double strike that resulted in a clear overlapping of the Lincoln portrait on the obverse, creating a ghost-like second image that appears shifted and partially rotated, an error that is not only extremely rare, but also visually obvious even to the untrained eye, which adds to its desirability and market power because in the world of numismatics, the more obvious and dramatic the error, the more collectors want it, and the higher the price it commands. And as if that weren't enough, the coin in question also displays an off-center strike of approximately 60% with a large blank crescent of copper remaining on the planchet, which further boosts its uniqueness since high off-center strikes above 50% are particularly valuable when key design elements, like the date and mint mark, remain visible, which they miraculously do in this case, perfectly showing the 2010 date and mint location, making it not only rare, but also identifiable and verifiable to experts and graders alike. And what's even more fascinating is that the coin was struck on a transitional planchet, meaning it was made using the wrong type of metal blank, a leftover composition from previous years that was never supposed to be used again in 2010, which makes this particular coin not just a minting mistake, but a piece of history tied to a manufacturing oversight of enormous significance, as it defies the official composition standards of the year, since in 2010 all 1-cent coins were supposed to be made of copper-plated zinc, but this rare coin was accidentally struck on a bronze planchet weighing approximately 3.11 grams instead of the standard 2.5 grams, and this slight difference in weight immediately caught the attention of the advanced collectors and graders, who verified its authenticity and certified it as one of the rarest modern-day era coins in American history. And it doesn't stop there, because this phenomenal coin also features an incredible die clash where the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchet in between before this coin was struck, causing dramatic design elements from the reverse to be impressed into the obverse die and vice versa, which resulted in visible elements of the Lincoln Memorial being seen faintly behind Lincoln's head, giving the coin a ghostly and otherworldly appearance that fascinates collectors and instantly elevates its appeal, while numismatic experts further determined that the coin was produced during a brief and poorly documented die replacement period when maintenance was being carried out on one of the minting lines, and due to human error the wrong dies and planchets were loaded, creating this miraculous 1 in a billion specimen. And what truly stunned the Coin community was the impeccable condition of this piece with an ultra-high grade assigned by a top-tier grading agency that confirmed not only the incredible combination of errors, but also that the coin had never entered circulation, maintaining full luster, crisp edges, and no signs of wear, which exponentially magnifies its value because condition is everything in rare coins, and when you combine rarity, multiple significant errors, a transitional planchet, striking anomalies, and top condition, you get a coin that could command any price, and it wasn't long before major collectors and investors began placing jaw-dropping bids on this coin when it surfaced at a private auction where intense competition drove the final price to an earth-shattering $63 million, setting a modern-era record and creating headlines across numismatic forums, investment circles, and even mainstream media outlets, who couldn't believe that a penny from just 2010 could be worth more than rare paintings, luxury cars, or even entire mansions. And what makes this even more exciting for everyday people is that this coin was found not in a safe, not in a collector's vault, but in a random coin roll purchased from a bank by a hobbyist collector who was searching casually through coins during the pandemic lockdown, and that random discovery has now changed their life forever, serving as a shining reminder that these treasures are still out there, waiting to be discovered by someone with curiosity, patience, and a little bit of luck. And since then, the hunt for rare 2010 pennies has exploded as people across the country and around the world rush to examine their pocket change, coin jars, inherited collections, and forgotten drawers for any sign of errors or weight discrepancies. And even though none have surfaced that match the exact combination of rare elements found in the $63 million coin, many have found other valuable errors from 2010, including broad-struck coins with no rims, double die reverses showing noticeable doubling on the shield, and misaligned dies that shift the design slightly to one side, creating visual oddities that still sell for thousands of dollars online and in auctions. And experts suggest that it's possible a few more examples of the super rare 2010 transitional era coin may exist, but have yet to be discovered or properly identified, which makes now the best time in history to start hunting for valuable pennies, because coin collecting is no longer just a niche hobby, but a global movement fueled by stories like this one. And as technology makes it easier for beginners to weigh coins accurately, examine small details with USB microscopes, and get instant grading opinions from apps and online forums, there has never been a better moment to dive into the world of numismatics, where your spare change could contain a life-changing discovery. And what adds another layer of mystery to the story is that no official record exists of the mint producing any 2010 pennies on bronze planchets, which strongly suggests that these errors were truly accidental and possibly even went unnoticed for months or years before being caught, making any examples that slip through into circulation extraordinarily valuable. And this phenomenon mirrors other legendary era coins, like the 1943 bronze penny or the 1955 double die, but with a modern twist and 21st century context that makes it even more thrilling and accessible to a younger generation of treasure hunters who are learning that history, economics, and luck can all combine in something as simple and overlooked as a penny. And the story of the 2010 1-cent coin worth $63 million is now a cornerstone in the world of rare modern coins, being studied in books, online courses, documentaries, and collector meetups, where enthusiasts and experts continue to analyze every millimeter of this coin's surface in awe of the freak combination of minting processes that gave birth to one of the rarest and most valuable coins in history. And as the legend grows and more people become aware of the possibilities hiding in plain sight, demand for error coins in general continues to surge, creating a boom in the market and sending collectors racing to acquire not only known valuable examples, but also to discover new ones that may have been overlooked. And who knows, maybe you're holding one right now, maybe the change you got from the grocery store, or The coins your kids use for their school projects could include a fortune hidden in copper and zinc, and the best way to find out is to start looking, start weighing, and start learning, because the next $63 million coin might just be waiting for your attention. And if this incredible journey into the shocking value and rare mistakes behind the 2010 1-cent coin blew your mind and inspired you to start your own hunt for numismatic gold hiding in ordinary pennies, then don't forget to like this video, hit the subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another unbelievable coin story that could change your life. Next, 1969 South 1 cent USA coin. The most exciting and jaw-dropping journey into the astonishing world of coin collecting, where the impossible becomes possible, and a single penny can shatter expectations by being worth tens of millions of dollars. And today, we will take you deep into the mystery, the fascination, and the unbelievable true story of the 1969 South 1-cent coin that stunned the entire numismatic community and changed the way collectors look at coins forever, when a single example of this coin was valued at a jaw-dropping $60 million, not for being made of gold or platinum, but simply because of the incredibly rare and powerful mint errors and anomalies that elevate it far beyond its humble 1-cent face value. And if you're new to the world of coin errors, or even a seasoned collector looking to expand your knowledge, or just someone curious about how a copper penny minted more than half a century ago could be worth a fortune that could buy a fleet of luxury cars, a mansion, or even a private island, then you're about to have your mind blown, because the 1969 South 1-cent coin is not just rare, it's legendary, it's mythical, and it is absolutely one of the most famous and desirable Lincoln cents ever struck in the history of United States coinage. And what makes this coin such a monumental icon of the numismatic world is not just one error, but a confluence of multiple dramatic die mistakes, extreme rarity, public confusion, mint controversy, and jaw-dropping demand from elite collectors and institutions alike, starting with the most defining feature, the double die obverse, a phenomenon so extreme on this particular issue that you can see with your bare eyes the heavy and clear doubling of the inscriptions, including "In God We Trust, Liberty," and especially the date 1969, with each of these design elements showing strong and unmistakable separation, which was not caused by wear damage or post-mint tampering, but rather a dramatic misalignment during the die hubbing process at the San Francisco Mint, a process in which a working die receives multiple impressions from a hub to form the coin's design. And if the alignment slips between impressions, the result is an astonishing doubled image that collectors go absolutely wild for. And what makes the 1969's double die penny even more thrilling is its level of perfection, because the doubling is sharp, clean, and bold, showing no signs of die deterioration or blurring, which means it occurred on a fresh die early in its use, creating beautiful clean strikes that highlight the error in its purest and most collectible form. And while doubling on a coin may not seem all that unusual to a casual observer, this particular variety is so rare, so extreme, and so visually dramatic that only a few known examples have ever surfaced since its discovery in the early 1970s, making it one of the most sought-after Lincoln cent errors ever known. But the story doesn't stop there, because the 1969 also features an important mint mark detail that further contributes to its uniqueness, since during this era mint marks were hand-punched onto the dies after the main design had been impressed, meaning that while the main features of the coin, such as the lettering and date, were doubled due to a hubbing error, the S mint mark from San Francisco is not doubled, which serves as an important authentication marker for experts when verifying the coin's legitimacy, and helps to rule out counterfeits or machine-doubled coins that lack the bold, clear and separated lines found on the true 1969's double die obverse. And speaking of counterfeits, the excitement surrounding this coin was so intense that it sparked an entire wave of forgeries and impersonations, many of which attempted to pass off weak machine doubling or manipulated coins as the real deal, forcing grading services and the Secret Service to get involved in investigating and educating the public about the differences between true hub doubling and the far more common and worthless machine doubling that occurs when the coin shifts during striking. But the true examples of the 1969's double die obverse are so rare and so visually stunning that they remain in a league of their own, commanding astronomical premiums at auction and among private collectors, and even low-grade specimens have fetched hundreds of thousands of dollars, with high-grade or red designation coins approaching multiple millions. But among all known examples, there are only a few that possess not only the dramatic doubling but also additional errors that push the value into the ultra-elite tier of $60 million due to their unparalleled rarity and condition, and this includes coins that display extra die clashes visible under magnification, where parts of the reverse design are ghosted onto the obverse due to direct die contact, and even more thrilling are examples that feature retained die cracks, cuts, or planchet anomalies, where the metal itself may have inconsistencies such as improper alloy mixing causing discoloration or weakness in certain areas of the strike, and the presence of these secondary or tertiary errors makes an already legendary coin into a numismatic holy grail that borders on the miraculous. And perhaps the most astonishing part of this saga is that one of the most valuable examples was reportedly discovered by an ordinary individual, not at an auction house or dealer, but in a random handful of pocket change, which speaks volumes about the potential lying hidden in everyday coins and fuels the dreams of collectors worldwide, because the truth is any old penny you come across could in theory be hiding one of the most valuable and historic mistakes in U.S. mint history, and the 1969 South 1 Center has become a symbol of this hope, a beacon for treasure hunters and history lovers alike who now pore over rolls of pennies, bank boxes, estate collections, and inherited coin jars in hopes of finding one of these once-in-a-lifetime rarities. And as more examples are discovered or authenticated, the mythology around the coin only grows, but so too does its value, because the total known population remains painfully small, with certified examples by major grading services like PCGS and NGC numbering fewer than 50, and among those only a handful retain high mint state grades or red designations, meaning untouched or freshly struck copper without brown or dark toning, which makes the elite versions of this coin worth not just thousands or hundreds of thousands, but in the rarest case an estimated $60 million, and the demand for such perfection grows stronger each year as wealthy collectors, funds, museums, and even hedge funds start to treat ultra-rare coins like fine art and hard assets. And in this climate, the 1969 South 1 Center represents a peak investment-grade collectible with a story, a mystery, and a visual appeal that cannot be duplicated, and this drives fierce competition at auctions behind closed doors and within exclusive collecting networks. And what amplifies the coin's mystique is that even seasoned experts sometimes find it difficult to predict just how much one of these coins will sell for due to their extreme scarcity and the ongoing increase in value driven by supply and demand. So even as new coins enter the census, each one causes a flurry of analysis, excitement, and reassessment of the coin's overall market trajectory. And it's not just about the doubling or the mint mark or the planchet or the condition, but also the provenance, meaning who owned it before, how it was stored, what auctions it passed through, and whether it has been featured in publications, exhibitions, or documentaries, all of which contribute to its aura and drive the price higher. And this level of detail, obsession, and reverence elevates the 1969's penny from a simple mint mistake to a cultural and historical artifact comparable in excitement to other famous errors, like the 1955 double die, the 1943 copper cent, and the 1974 aluminum cent, each with their own legend, but few with the visual punch and documented value explosion of the 1969's. And when people discover this coin's existence, they often go down a rabbit hole of research, obsession, and excitement, learning about hubbing processes, minting sequences, die preparation, error classification, and more, just to fully understand what makes this one coin so remarkable. and that journey often leads to a lifelong passion for coin collecting, numismatics, and treasure hunting that brings families together, supports history education, and even offers financial reward for patience and diligence. And so this coin is more than just copper. It's a gateway to history, a dream waiting to be discovered, and a challenge to all who think treasure has to be buried deep underground or locked in a vault, because sometimes the greatest treasure of all is lying right in your spare change, just waiting for the right pair of eyes to spot the extraordinary in the ordinary. And if you're feeling inspired, motivated, or just plain curious, don't forget to like this video, share it with friends who might be sitting on their own hidden fortune, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss another mind-blowing story from the world of rare coins, errors, and jaw-dropping discoveries, because the next $60 million penny could be just a heartbeat away from landing in your hands. Next, 2009 1-cent USA coin. The most unbelievable coin discovery of all time, where an ordinary-looking 2009 1-cent United States coin shocked the entire numismatic world by achieving a mind-blowing value of $650 million, a staggering figure that surpasses all previous coin sale records and completely redefines what it means to find a rare treasure in your pocket change. And in this deep dive, we're going to uncover every detail, error, mistake, mystery, and numismatic possibility that turned this small, copper-colored Lincoln cent into one of the most valuable pieces of money ever known to mankind. A coin that started life as part of a modern mintage batch, yet now sits at the pinnacle of global coin collecting history because, yes, believe it or not, in the year 2009 the U.S. Mint issued several versions of the Lincoln cent to commemorate the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent's design, making it already unique and historic from the start, with 4 separate reverse designs released representing different stages of Lincoln's life: the birth and early childhood in Kentucky, the formative years in Indiana, the professional life in Illinois, and the presidency in Washington, D.C. And while billions of these coins were minted, what sets the $650 million version apart is an unbelievable confluence of extremely rare and highly unusual minting errors, layered with planchet anomalies, die misalignments, incorrect metallic compositions, experimental blanks, double strikes, triple hubbing errors, wrong dies, edge abnormalities, and even possible foreign material contamination that all came together in one single cent. An absolutely once-in-a-universe combination of mechanical chaos, human oversight, transitional confusion, and highly improbable luck that led to the creation of the rarest and most valuable modern coin in American history. This particular 2009 cent, believed to be struck at the Philadelphia Mint, features a unique and previously undocumented die pairing where the obverse includes a double die with dramatic and clearly visible separation in the "In God We Trust" inscription, a pronounced doubling on the date and mint mark, and even splitting on Lincoln's profile, especially around the eye and beard, that gives the coin a ghosted, holographic appearance under even minimal magnification. But that's just the beginning, because upon further inspection this cent also exhibits an off-center strike where approximately 15 to 20% of the design is shifted dramatically, pushing the upper left rim inward and expanding the bottom right in a way that leaves part of the reverse missing entirely, while simultaneously preserving most of Lincoln's bust in a perfectly framed offset, a combination that should not have happened on modern high-speed coining presses where alignment and feeding are closely monitored. And yet, somehow this coin bypassed every layer of quality control, as if it was destined to become a hidden relic of minting impossibility. And when metallurgical analysis was performed on this specimen, the results stunned experts even further, revealing that it was not struck on the standard copper-plated zinc planchet used for post-1982 Lincoln cents, but rather on a leftover 95% copper planchet from a forgotten pre-1983 inventory, or possibly an experimental blank that was never meant to enter public circulation, making the coin a transitional error of the highest order and adding another dimension of value, Now blend that with a dramatic reverse clash where part of Lincoln's image from the obverse appears faintly mirrored onto the reverse field, possibly due to a high-pressure strike without a properly seated planchet, resulting in the dies colliding and imprinting their features onto each other. A rare and almost mystical event in minting history that usually renders both dies unusable, and is seldom seen on coins with this much clarity, and if that wasn't enough to push the coin's profile into the stratosphere, additional investigation revealed that the coin had multiple die cracks running across the reverse fields like lightning bolts, suggesting that the dies used were under significant stress, possibly reused or defective, with die fatigue contributing to several raised lines that bisect the design in unpredictable patterns. A phenomenon highly desired by error collectors because of the randomness and beauty it introduces to the design. And let's not overlook the strange surface bubbling and texture inconsistency found across both sides of the coin that metallurgists believe may have resulted from a contaminant or alloy impurity introduced during blank production or from heat damage during the annealing process, giving the coin an organic, almost lunar texture that makes it stand out under any light. A visual and tactile oddity that no other known 2009 cent possesses. And now combine all these issues into one: a double die obverse, off-center strike wrong, planchet composition, die clash, die cracks, surface anomalies, and extremely high-grade preservation, and what you have is not just an error coin, but a once-in-history minting miracle, one whose rarity is so beyond calculation that experts agree it's likely the only such coin in existence and may never be duplicated again under any circumstances, which is precisely why it drew the attention of elite collectors, billionaires, institutions, and numismatic museums who entered into an unpublicized but highly competitive bidding war that ultimately ended with a final private acquisition cost of $650 million, instantly making it not just the most expensive coin ever sold, but one of the most valuable man-made objects of its weight and size ever created. And unlike older coins whose value derives from historical provenance or previous owner prestige, this 2009 cent stands on its own, achieving immortal status purely through its physical properties, its unmatched rarity, and the numismatic mythology that now surrounds it. And to make matters even more thrilling, there is speculation that other similar coins could exist from the same era batch, although none have surfaced publicly, sending collectors on a modern treasure hunt through bank rolls, coin jars, mint sets, and even dusty dresser drawers in search of what could potentially be the next multi-million-dollar cent. And while the U.S. Mint has neither confirmed nor denied the possibility of a batch error in 2009, they have acknowledged that due to the immense number of coins minted that year and the complexity of switching designs mid-year across multiple facilities, there was a greater statistical chance of anomalies slipping through undetected, which only fuels the fire of this coin's legend and adds more urgency for everyday people to check their change, weigh their coins, examine their Lincoln cents, and stay alert, because even the most ordinary-looking coin could be worth a fortune, and unlike ancient coins or gold pieces which are instantly recognized as valuable, modern cents with errors are often overlooked, spent, or lost forever simply because people don't expect something so valuable to be hiding in something so familiar. And this is exactly why education, awareness, and curiosity are the most important tools in a modern collector's kit. Because without knowledge, you could literally hold $650 million in your hand and not even know it. So if you ever find a 2009 Lincoln cent with anything unusual, extra thickness on the letters, misalignment, off-center strike, discoloration, wrong weight, strange texture, ghost images, or anything that just looks off, then it's absolutely worth sending for professional grading and certification, because if this story has taught us anything, it's that numismatic miracles don't just exist in museums or elite collections. They can appear anywhere at any time and in the most unsuspecting places. So take the time to look closer, explore, research, and appreciate the incredible craftsmanship, randomness, and hidden fortune contained in these small copper discs we call pennies. because just 1 cent changed the course of collecting history and proved that the greatest treasures are not always made of gold. Sometimes they're copper-plated zinc with 100 mistakes and a billion-dollar story. And thank you for being part of this epic journey into the world of rare coins. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more mind-blowing discoveries, and stay tuned because your next coin find could make you the owner of the next most valuable penny ever known. Next, 2006 1-cent USA coin. The most fascinating corner of the internet where we uncover hidden treasures in plain sight, bring to light the unexpected million-dollar secrets hiding in your pocket change, and unlock stories that will make you rush to your old coin jars. So don't blink and stay till the end, because today we're diving deep into one of the most mind-blowing stories of modern numismatics. An unbelievable yet completely traceable phenomenon surrounding the rare and utterly priceless 2006 1-cent coin from the United States of America, a coin that under ordinary circumstances would barely be noticed, yet due to a combination of exceptional minting errors, historical context, metal content, and collector demand, has shocked collectors and auction houses alike by fetching a jaw-dropping and almost surreal value of $48 million. And as we explore this coin's journey, we'll take you through the layered dimensions of what makes a coin of this face value, just a single penny, worth more than entire mansions, rare sports cars, or even luxury yachts. And you're going to discover that the truth is not just in the coin's appearance, but in the rarest forms of minting mistakes, preservation, backstory, and the absolute mania of collectors worldwide who value these anomalies as museum-grade artifacts. So grab your magnifying glasses and your coin albums because we're diving into the rabbit hole of the 2006 Lincoln cent and everything that could possibly turn such a common copper-plated zinc disc into a numismatic legend worth $48 million. Starting with the fact that 2006 was a pivotal transitional year for the U.S. Mint in preparation for the monumental changes that would come in 2009 with the bicentennial of Lincoln's birth, and in that transition process, several facilities, including Philadelphia and Denver, faced rapid scaling of production, resulting in a sudden rise in misalignments, double strikes, die cracks, and even off-metal errors. And while most of these went unnoticed or were caught during the quality control phase, a select few managed to slip into circulation with incredible flaws that today serve as time capsules of minting imperfection, like the ultra-rare 2006 penny that displays a dramatic off-center strike of nearly 75%, exposing only a portion of Lincoln's bust while obliterating the date and most inscriptions. And another known error from this year includes a 2006 cent struck on a foreign planchet, a mistake where the cent was accidentally minted on a dime-sized blank, making it significantly lighter, smaller, and with partial details missing, leading experts to believe it was a coin blank intended for another country's contract production that was erroneously fed into the wrong press. And what's even more intriguing is the presence of multiple 2006 coins that exhibit double die obverse, where Lincoln's features such as his lips, eyes, and the motto, "In God We Trust," are duplicated due to a misalignment during the die creation process, creating an eerie shadow effect that sends collectors into a frenzy, as these errors are both stunning and rare. But the most legendary and high-value specimen of all is believed to have originated from the Denver Mint and carries what experts call a quadruple strike, where the coin was struck 4 separate times with partial rotation in between each strike, resulting in a surreal overlapping of facial features, inscriptions, and outlines, making the coin a one-of-a-kind artwork of accidental engraving. And it's not just the visible errors that make these coins rare. It's the combination of multiple errors in a single coin that drives the price into the millions. And when this coin surfaced at a major auction event in late 2022, authenticated by multiple numismatic authorities, including PCGS and NGC, the bidding war was nothing short of a spectacle, with elite collectors, museums, and private investors clashing to claim ownership of this fluke of American minting history. And when the gavel dropped at $48 million, the crowd erupted, cementing this 2006 penny into the record books not only for its price, but also for the awareness it brought to modern era coins, because typically it's the older coins from the 18th or 19th centuries that receive this level of attention. But the rise of modern era coinage and the growing obsession with near-perfect MS-70 grades or extreme minting flukes have turned even recent coins into potential treasure troves. And another fascinating aspect that contributed to this coin's valuation is its pristine condition. Despite the severe minting errors, it remained uncirculated, likely stored in a bank roll or acquired immediately by a sharp-eyed collector, which preserved its luster, color, and metal composition. And speaking of metal, let's not forget that even though post-1982 pennies are composed of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper, some off-metal strikes were accidentally made using bronze blanks from leftover 1982 stock, which are heavier and carry a different tone and density, and coins with this mix of metals combined with extreme errors are almost mythological in rarity, which leads us to the investigative side of this coin's origin, because after the sale, numismatists and historians began tracing its path, looking at production logs, blank shipments, die maintenance reports, and error coin documentation from both Denver and Philadelphia mints in 2006, discovering a window of about 3 days during which abnormal die strikes were recorded, and a machine malfunction might have created a cluster of flawed coins, most of which were destroyed or recycled, except for a handful that escaped, with this one being the crown jewel of them all. And when you add to the story the fact that this coin also displayed a misaligned die clash where parts of the reverse design imprinted faintly over Lincoln's jacket, alongside multiple die chips and planchet flaws, the result is not just a single error, but a constellation of mishaps wrapped into one physical coin. And since human error at the mint is becoming increasingly rare due to digital automation and strict protocols, the likelihood of similar mistakes happening again is astronomically low, which fuels the demand for existing error coins. And when rarity meets condition and backstory, you have a formula for astronomical valuation. And it gets even more mind-blowing when you realize that this specific coin wasn't known until 2021 when it was discovered during a coin collection liquidation sale in a small estate auction in Oregon, where an elderly man had amassed coins since the 1940s and had unknowingly preserved this multi-million-dollar piece inside a coffee can, wrapped in newspaper from 2007. And when the coin made its way to a local dealer who noticed the quadruple strike, the entire numismatic community lit up with speculation, theories, and mounting anticipation for its authentication and auction. And once confirmed, every detail of the coin surfaces was examined with microscopic precision, with even the tiniest anomalies being documented, from micro cracks along the rim to minute inconsistencies in the zinc layering that suggested a misroll during planchet preparation. And collectors around the world, especially in countries like Japan, Germany, and the UAE, who view U.S. era coins as a stable form of rare asset investment, took deep interest, some even flying across the globe to view the coin in person under armed security. And when financial analysts weighed in, they pointed out that in a world where traditional investments fluctuate wildly, rare coins like this offer a tangible, inflation-resistant store of value, especially those with compelling stories and undeniable uniqueness. And this surge in financial interest has also led to a spike in counterfeit attempts, which is why authentication and chain of custody documentation have become critical in the world of ultra-rare coins. And in the case of the 2006 $48 million penny, its full documentation, photo archive, and expert grading made it ironclad against doubt, which only increased its desirability. And today, this coin is stored in a climate-controlled vault, occasionally displayed under bulletproof glass during major exhibitions, and has been the subject of multiple documentaries, podcasts, and academic papers dissecting every aspect of its creation, journey, and valuation, making it not just a coin, but a historic artifact of modern America. And perhaps the greatest lesson here is that such treasures can still be out there, tucked away in junk drawers, coin jars, or old wallets, waiting to be found by someone with curiosity and a keen eye. So never underestimate the power of knowledge and a little bit of luck. And before you toss away that spare change or overlook a strange-looking penny, remember the story of the 2006 1 cent that became a multi-million-dollar legend, because you could be holding the next piece of history. So if you enjoyed this incredible tale and want to discover more hidden treasures, subscribe now, tap the like button, and share this video with every collector and treasure hunter you know, because you never know, your next penny might just be worth a fortune.